All right, let's dive into digital signatures. You
Okay.
sent over a ton of articles on different providers,
Yeah.
so I'm guessing you're looking for the right solution, right?
Smart move. Not all digital signatures are the same.
Right.
And it's a lot more than just, replacing pen and paper.
Okay, so before we get lost in all these providers,
Yeah.
let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Digital signatures. What are they, really?
Yeah.
And why should we even care?
Right.
I mean, we've been signing contracts forever.
True. But imagine a world where those signatures are actually super sophisticated codes
Okay.
that guarantee the document is real and that the person who signed it is who they say they are.
Wow.
That's what we're talking about here.
Huh.
It's like a digital fingerprint
Mm.
that's unique to you and to the document.
Yeah.
And it makes sure nobody can mess with it after you've signed.
So it's not just about convenience then.
Right?
It's about security too.
Absolutely. It's about trust and security, especially when things are happening so fast online.
Right.
And across different countries.
Hmm.
Remember when DocuSign first became really popular?
Mm-hmm.
Part of that was because big financial companies started using it early on.
Oh, interesting.
And for them, security and compliance were super important.
Right.
That built a lot of trust in DocuSign.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's also about who the provider is and what their reputation is like.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I'm convinced.
Yeah.
I want to use digital signatures.
Okay.
How do I choose the right provider?
Right.
There's so many options in those articles you sent.
It can be a lot. It's like walking into a candy store
Uh-huh. Yeah.
with a million choices.
Right.
But instead of sugar, we're talking about security
Yes, that's important.
and how efficient you can be with your work. There are three main things to think about: compliance, integration, and cost.
All right, let's break those down.
Okay.
Compliance sounds like a legal maze.
Yeah, it can be, but you don't want a signature that might not hold up legally, right?
Yeah. Right, of course not.
You need a provider that meets global standards,
Okay.
like IDES and eSign.
What are those?
Those are rules that make sure your digital signature will be accepted in court,
Oh, wait.
and no matter where you do business.
So it's like a legal safety net for digital transaction.
Exactly.
I like that.
But compliance also goes along with security.
Okay.
We're talking about things like strong encryption and using multiple ways to verify your identity.
Yeah, you don't want anyone hacking into your contract.
Exactly.
Okay, what about integration?
So integration is all about how well the digital signature system works with the other systems you already use, like
Okay.
your email or your customer management software.
Got it.
Imagine having to switch between different platforms every time you need a signature.
That would be a pain.
Yeah, a nightmare. You want a provider that works smoothly with everything else.
So everything needs to talk to each other.
Right.
No digital silos.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then there's cost, which is always important. Budgets are real.
They are. And pricing can be all over the place. Some companies charge per user, some charge per document.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Others have monthly or yearly subscriptions. You need to figure out what works for your business.
Right, how many signatures we need and how much we can afford.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the criteria down. Compliance, integration, and cost.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the providers. Your research pointed to 6 major players for 2024. DocuSign, Adobe Sign, HelloSign, SignNow, PandaDoc, and Under.io.
Great list. Each one has its own strengths.
Awesome. Let's start with DocuSign.
Okay.
They seem to be everywhere. What's their secret?
Well, they were one of the first in the game, which let them build a huge network of integrations.
Okay.
Think Salesforce, Google, Microsoft. They're connected to almost everything.
So if you're using any major software, they probably work with DocuSign.
Probably. This makes them super versatile.
Yeah.
They can work with businesses of all sizes.
Or like the Swiss Army knife of digital signatures.
Yeah, kinda.
Reliable and gets the job done.
And their security is top-notch, which is essential.
Right.
And they have a good track record of meeting those compliance standards we talked about.
Okay, so if someone is looking for reliability and peace of mind,
Yeah,
DocuSign is a strong contender.
absolutely.
What if someone is already using a lot of Adobe products?
Like Acrobat.
Yeah.
Well, then it might make sense to look at Adobe Sign.
Right, keep everything together.
Exactly. We're already working with Adobe, so
Yeah.
why not keep everything under one roof?
Makes sense.
Adobe Sign works really well with their other products,
Okay.
which can save a ton of time.
Yeah.
Plus, their mobile app is great.
Oh, nice.
So it's perfect for teams that are always on the go.
So for people who love Adobe, it's all about keeping things streamlined and sticking with what they know.
Exactly. Now, what about HelloSign? They're becoming more popular, too.
I've heard good things. What's their story?
Well, they're owned by Dropbox now.
Oh, okay.
So they work really well with Google, workspace.
Gmail, Google Docs, all that.
The whole suite. They're known for being really user-friendly.
Even for people who aren't that tech-savvy.
Even for them.
That's good.
Which is a huge selling point for small to medium businesses.
Yeah, because they might not have a dedicated IT team to help them figure things out.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so we've got the giants like DocuSign,
Yes.
the Adobe-focused option,
Yeah?
and then the easy-to-use HelloSign.
Makes sense.
What about Sign now? I see them advertised everywhere.
Sign Now is all about being affordable
Okay.
and easy to use. They're a great option for startups or anyone on a tight budget.
Right.
They support a wide range of file formats, too.
So no matter what kind of document you have,
Right.
it'll work with Sign now.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Plus, they have cool features like creating templates and merging documents, which saves you a ton of time.
So they're like the budget-friendly workhorse.
Yes, they don't skimp on features.
Love it. What about PandaDoc? They seem to do more than just e-signatures.
That's right. PandaDoc is more like a one-stop shop for your whole document process.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine combining document creation, collaboration, e-signatures, and analytics all in one place.
Wow, that's a lot.
Sales and marketing teams love them.
Why is that?
Because of their analytics. You can actually track how people interact with your documents.
So it's not just about signing, it's about understanding how people use the documents.
Precisely.
And then we have Under.io. They seem a bit more specialized.
They are.
What's their niche?
Under.io is great at online forms, e-signatures, and handling those complicated workflows.
Complicated in what way?
Like when you're onboarding new employees or dealing with applications.
Lots of forms and approvals.
Exactly. They're built for handling a lot of stuff and can grow with larger teams.
So for companies dealing with a ton of forms,
Yeah.
Under.io might be the answer.
They could be. They're popular with financial institutions and insurance companies
Oh, makes sense.
because they need to manage those complex workflows really securely.
Wow, we've covered a lot. It's clear there's a digital signature solution for almost anyone.
There really is.
But before we move on, what are the big trends shaping the future of this technology?
Ooh, that's where things get really interesting.
I'm ready.
And maybe a bit sci-fi. We're seeing big developments in security, automation, and making things work smoothly for remote teams.
Exciting.
Things are changing fast.
Tell me more.
Okay, well, for starters, blockchain is becoming a big part of digital signatures.
Blockchain.
Think about it. We're talking about tamper-proof records
Okay.
that are totally transparent. Imagine a world where you never have to question whether a digital signature is real or not.
Blockchain seems to be everywhere these days. Is it really that big of a deal for digital signatures?
That's a great question. For simple things, maybe not.
Okay.
But when you think about digital signatures being used in healthcare or supply chains,
Yeah, more sensitive stuff.
that level of trust and the fact that you can't change the record,
Right.
that becomes super important.
I can see that.
So yeah, it's adding a whole new level of security and trust.
And especially as we move into those more complex areas.
Exactly. But that's not all.
There's more.
Oh yeah. AI and automation are also changing things.
How so?
Imagine contracts that practically sign themselves,
Okay.
pointing out potential problems.
Yeah.
And even suggesting changes based on your old contracts.
Hold on. Are we talking robot lawyers now?
Haha, not quite yet.
That's impressive.
It is.
But is that realistic for smaller companies?
It's still early, but the potential is huge. Think about all the time you could save.
Right. And money.
Yeah, by automating all those routine tasks.
So AI could help even small businesses access those really powerful tools.
Exactly. It levels the playing field.
That's exciting.
It is. And as remote work becomes more and more common, digital signature providers are making it even easier for people to work together,
Okay.
no matter where they are.
So you're saying no matter where you are,
Yeah.
you can sign and manage documents.
Anywhere.
It's like the digital glue that holds everything together in a remote world.
I like that.
But with all these advancements,
Yeah.
there must be some challenges.
Of course. Anytime you have new technology, there are going to be bumps in the road.
What kind of bumps?
One of the biggest is making sure everyone understands how digital signatures work.
Right. Not everyone is a tech expert.
And even more important, that they trust them.
Because if people don't trust the system,
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
exactly.
Education is key.
Absolutely.
Any other potential pitfalls?
Well, cybersecurity is a big one.
Right.
As digital signatures become more popular, they also become bigger targets for hackers.
That makes sense.
So providers need to keep making their systems more secure.
So it's like a race
Kind of, yeah.
between the good guys and the bad guys.
You could say that.
And you need to choose a provider that takes security seriously.
Yes.
Okay, so there are some challenges.
Yes.
But it sounds like the benefits of digital signatures are much bigger than the risks. They're more secure,
Definitely.
more efficient, and better for the environment
Absolutely.
than using all that paper.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're only going to become more important.
I think so too.
Well, that's a great transition to our next segment. We've talked about the technology, the trends, and the major players.
Yeah.
But what does this all mean for you, the listener?
Mm-hmm.
How can you use this knowledge to make the right decision about digital signatures? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the practical side of things and help you figure out this exciting new landscape.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. I feel like we just took a crash course in all things digital signatures,
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
from the tech behind it to all the different providers out there.
But hopefully you're starting to see how much potential they have.
Right.
It's not just about replacing your pen, it's about changing how we work together.
Yeah. And build trust in this digital world.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about what this means for you, our listener.
Okay.
How can you actually use all this information to choose the right digital signature solution?
I think the biggest thing to remember is that digital signatures aren't just for big companies anymore.
Right.
They're becoming the standard for managing documents securely and efficiently.
Across all industries.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's not just about signing contracts.
Not at all. Think about healthcare.
Okay.
Imagine patient consent forms being handled digitally.
Oh, that'd be great.
No more paper trails.
Less chance of mistakes.
Exactly. Or in education, student records and administrative stuff could all be signed online.
Wow, that would make things so much easier for everyone.
Right. It's like the whole world is going paperless.
It seems like it.
And that's where blockchain comes in.
Blockchain again.
As it becomes more common, it's going to completely change how we think about digital signatures.
Okay, we talked about blockchain before,
Yeah.
but I'm still not sure I totally get it.
It can be confusing.
Can you explain it in simple terms?
Sure. Imagine a digital record that's shared across a bunch of computers,
Mm-hmm.
making it almost impossible to tamper with.
Okay.
Every time someone signs a document, it's like adding to this chain,
So it's a permanent record
Yep.
of every signature,
and it's completely transparent.
making it super secure and trustworthy.
Exactly. And that level of trust is going to be really important
Right.
as we start using digital signatures for more things.
Like what?
Supply chain management,
Okay.
where you can track goods from the factory to the store.
Making sure they're authentic.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even voting systems.
Wow, really?
Blockchain could help prevent fraud and make sure elections are fair.
That's amazing. So many possibilities.
Right. What about AI and automation?
We talked about that a bit earlier,
Yeah.
but I want to hear more.
Okay, well, imagine this.
I'm listening.
You get a contract, and AI analyzes it for you.
Okay.
It tells you if there are any problems,
For
things that need to be clarified.
Yeah.
It could even fill in some fields automatically.
based on past contracts.
Exactly. Or suggest different wording that might be better for you.
That's incredible. It's like having a virtual lawyer,
Kind of, yeah.
making sure you don't miss anything.
But wouldn't that be really expensive?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's a kind.
Not every company can afford that kind of AI.
True, but as AI becomes more common and less expensive,
Okay.
we'll probably see those features in even the basic digital signature tools.
So everyone will be able to use them.
Exactly. It's about making those tools accessible.
That's great.
So we're talking about a future where digital signatures aren't just more secure,
Yeah.
but also smarter and easier to use.
They're getting better on every level.
Exactly. And we can't forget about remote work.
Right.
As more people work from anywhere, digital signatures are key for collaboration.
Yeah. You need to be able to sign things no matter where you are.
We're talking tools that let you sign from your laptop, tablet, even your phone.
It's like the glue that holds everything together
I like that, the glue.
in this remote world.
But even with all this progress, there are still challenges.
Of course. There always are.
One of the biggest is making sure everyone understands how these things work
Yeah.
and that they trust them.
We need to educate people
Absolutely.
so they feel comfortable using digital signatures.
Exactly. And we can't leave anyone behind.
Right. What do you mean?
Accessibility is important. We need to make sure everyone has the resources and skills.
To use these tools.
Yeah, no matter their technical expertise or budget.
Everyone should have the opportunity to participate.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Cybersecurity is always going to be a concern.
Of course.
As digital signatures become more common,
Yeah.
there'll be bigger targets for hackers.
So we need to be careful.
Always. We need to stay ahead of the bad guys.
It's a constant battle.
You could say that.
But it sounds like the benefits of digital signatures still outweigh the risks.
I think so.
They're just a better way to manage documents and transactions.
And they're only going to become more important.
Okay, so that's the big picture.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a second.
Okay?
Our listeners are probably wondering, how do I actually choose the right solution for me?
That's the million-dollar question. I think the best way is to start by asking yourself a few key questions.
Okay, we're back, ready to help you make some decisions.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've talked about all the technical stuff, the trends, even what the future might hold.
A whole 9 yards.
But now it's time to get practical.
Right. Let's make this actionable.
So our listener could actually use this information.
Exactly. Let's boil it all down.
Yeah, because right now, I bet our listener is feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Probably. There's a lot out there.
So many options, so
Yeah.
many features. What are the key takeaways here?
All right, here's the cheat sheet.
I like cheat sheets.
First, digital signatures are here to stay.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're the future.
They offer security,
Mm-hmm.
efficiency,
Yeah.
and, they're legally valid in a way that pen and paper just isn't anymore.
It's a whole different level.
So it's a smart move to embrace this tech.
No matter what industry you're in.
Okay, what's the second takeaway?
There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Okay.
The right provider for you depends on your specific needs.
Makes sense.
What works for one company might not work for another.
So what are the things our listeners should be thinking about?
Think about your budget,
Right, that's always important.
the size of your team,
Okay.
what kind of documents you're dealing with,
Yeah.
and how much security you need.
Do you need something basic and affordable?
Right. Or do you need all the bells and whistles?
Like blockchain and AI.
Exactly.
So it's about finding the right fit.
Yes, for your workflow and your level of risk.
Got it.
Third takeaway, don't just focus on today.
Okay, what do you mean?
Think about the future.
The digital signature world is always changing, right?
It is. Choose a provider that's innovating, looking ahead.
So they'll be able to meet our needs down the road.
Exactly. Look for providers who are embracing those new trends.
Blockchain, AI.
Yep. And mobile solutions.
They're the ones shaping the future of this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got our 3 takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
Digital signatures are here to stay. There's no magic solution for everyone.
Uh-huh.
And choose a provider that's looking ahead.
Those are the big ones.
But let's get even more specific.
Okay.
Can you give our listeners some practical tips on how to actually evaluate different providers?
Absolutely. Start with security.
The most important thing.
What kind of encryption do they offer?
Okay,
Do they have multi-factor authentication?
what's that?
It's an extra layer of security
Got it.
where you need more than just a password to log in.
Makes sense.
Are they compliant with those industry standards we talked about?
EDA and eSign.
Yep, those are essential.
Okay, security and compliance first.
What's next? Integrations.
Right. How well does it work with the other software we use?
Exactly. Does it work smoothly with your CRM, your email?
No more jumping between platforms.
Right, it should all work together. Exactly. And don't forget usability.
Yeah. No one wants to use a clunky system.
Is the interface easy to understand? Can you create templates,
Uh-huh.
manage signatures?
Yep.
Track your documents?
It's all be straightforward.
The easier it is to use, the faster you'll see the benefits.
Because a system that's hard to use just slows everyone down.
For sure. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for a demo.
Oh yeah, a test drive.
Exactly. Or a free trial
You can see if it really works for you.
before you commit to anything.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
So focus on security, integrations, and usability.
Yeah,
And try it before you buy it.
exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But remember, the goal is to make your life easier and more secure,
And that's what we're all about here on the Deep Dive.
helping you navigate this crazy digital world.
Exactly.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay, hit me.
We've talked about how blockchain is making digital signatures more secure, but how else do you think this tech might change things in the next few years?
Ooh, good question.
What other industries could use it?
It's like we're planting seeds for future episodes.
Maybe the learning never stops.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you learned a lot about digital signatures and feel ready to make the right choice for your needs.
We'll see you next time.
Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.